He's listened to by millions every day on the Savage Nation radio show, where he faithfully sets the record straight on a lot of news issues. He's written a new book about his personal quest to find spiritual truth. It's called God, Faith, and Reason. Would you welcome, please, Michael Savage. Michael, welcome to the show.
What a pleasure it is to be with you, Governor.
Well, the pleasure is mine. You know, you're such a mushy, milquetoast, mild-mannered guy. We never know what you're thinking, Michael. And I think it's one of the reasons you have built a reputation as one of the most straight-talking people in the business. I want to know what it is that gives you clarity to be able to go on the air every day and just lay it out there for folks.
That's an interesting question, and I wasn't prepared for it. And I think the answer is that I have faith in my vision. I have faith in God. I think God put me here for a reason. And there were days and years that I stumbled that didn't have a purpose or a reason. And when I reached out and called to God, and I'm telling you, Michael, you got to believe me, I prayed that God would save me and just bring me forward from basically the wilderness. And I had 2 young children, and society wouldn't permit me to move ahead because of various social changes, let us say, even though I had killed myself to get a PhD from a great university. They were not hiring white men at the time. Well, I said, God, just give me the chance to do something worthwhile, and I won't disappoint you. And as God is my witness, within a short period of time, I mailed out things to radio stations, and I had a couple of tryouts, and that was 23 years ago. And here we are. I mean, I think that the path was opened up to me like the Red Sea. But, Mike, I'm going to go on and on. You know, you start a talk or talking, they can't stop. Moses divided the Red Sea for the Israelites, right? But everyone thinks that when the Jews entered the Promised Land, it was waiting for them. But it wasn't. They had to fight in the Promised Land once the Red Sea was parted. It was not given to them. So what does that tell us? God can only do so much. The rest is up to us. So that's the daily struggle, Michael. You must face the same thing to get up every day and face your audience, right?
Well, I do, and especially when a lot of them are mad at me for one thing or another that I've said. I mean, that's the way it works. But, you know, Michael, one of the things you've written about is this dramatic cultural change. Because in your book, God, Faith, and Reason, you say that in a short generation of time, we've gone from having St. Christopher on the dashboard to having dream catchers and voodoo beads hanging from the mirror. What do you mean by that? How does that describe our culture?
Well, in San Francisco, I don't know how they can drive. There's so many things hanging off the mirror, you can't see through the windshield. When I grew up in New York City, what you saw on a dashboard, you might have seen a little St. Christopher. You know, that was it. Figured they were devout Catholics, God bless them. People wore crosses proudly. And then all of a sudden, they started to retreat in their religion. Everyone was afraid to show their love of God, love of Jesus, if they're Christian. And what happened was, all of a sudden, there's all of this paganism. It's idol worship is what it comes down to. And that's really what God, Faith, and Reason is about. People say, well, I can go into that. I don't mean to switch it to that, but it really is a fundamental answer to the question, which is that we're not idol worshipers. The founders of America, as we all know, were not idol worshipers. They worship God, period. And it's all about God is invisible. Why is God invisible? Because he wants us to look for him. He wants us to try to seek him. And what I've discovered in my quest since I'm a little boy, I just say, why is God not available to me? Why can't I see him with my own eyes? And then it dawned on me writing this book, Michael, that the whole structure is set up by God to be invisible, because as we look for him, the looking is the finding. He wants us to quest for him everywhere. And in 2 minutes, I'll start singing the old Frankie Lane song, Where is God? Every time I hear a newborn baby cry or touch a leaf or see the sky, then I know why I believe, Michael. Come on, you're a singer. God is everywhere. And so he's not visible as an entity, but everything that we see is him.
Michael, there's a lot of conflict in our culture today, the right versus the left and Democrats versus Republicans, and it seems like that the polarization is more intense than it's ever been. Do you see that politically or spiritually? Where is this divide? And we've been talking about the media. The media seems to be tilted against the basic values of the people of the country. Is this a spiritual or a political issue?
I think the question has the answer in it. You know better than I do that it starts with the spirit and it ends up with the body. It starts with the spirit body and ends up in politics. It's not the body politic. And I would love to do a poll on how many people on the left believe in God and how many people on the right believe in God. That might answer the question better than I can.
Well, there are a lot of questions that are answered in your book, God, Faith, and Reason. I hope people will get it. Michael Savage's last book was a New York Times #1 bestseller, and I guarantee you this one will be as well. You can pre-order the book, God, Faith, and Reason, get it online at booksellers everywhere, or you can purchase a copy while you wander through his website, The Savage Nation, at michaelsavage.com. That's michaelsavage.com. Michael, so delighted to have you here. Thank you, sir. Pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you again.